That's it. So now let's get to the big meat shit. Oh, the paperwork done came out, but now see the paperwork done been out. But wasn't nobody paying attention until 50 Cent shed light on the situation. Blue Da Vinci said years ago that Big Meech was a snitch, but didn't nobody listen to Blue. But at the same time, Blue also tried to snitch too. See this right here? I hope this teach y'all something. Not y'all watching, because I feel like y'all watching right now, y'all kind of the same age as me, and y'all got some sense. I'm talking about the young niggas. Like, for instance, I just showed y'all what they did in South Dallas. They sold up whole 4 blocks. You see what I'm saying? I don't think they got nobody, but that ain't the point. What I'm finna make the point is, the streets is dead. The streets is dead. That shit is over. That shit is done. It's over. Go get a job. Get a trade or something. Go learn a skill. Go get your forklift certification. Go do something. Go do something. I understand you don't want to work for nobody else. I don't want to work for nobody else. I want to work for myself. And I'm working on that right now. I get in front of this computer and this microphone and I talk to people. You understand what I'm saying? I cover this shit and I do research. I want to work for myself. But until then, I got to work for somebody else. And I also have to make sure that once I work for self, I have to be doing something legal, because Unc ain't trying to go to prison. You understand what I'm saying? And one thing I ain't going to do is make a whole bunch of money and then go to prison. That's not what's happening. But I want y'all to look at this shit, and I want you to see that it ain't no such thing in the streets and the street code and all this other foolishness. It's foolishness. It's ignorance. It's dumb principles and shit that we was taught as a youngster that was nothing but to lead us to failure. That's all it was. This nigga right here promote brotherhood, not 50 Cent, Big Meech, the snitch. He promote loyalty, brotherhood, family, and all this other shit, and he got his ass right up in there. Took his time like a man on, from the get-go. But obviously he had another plan. He was gonna get up in there. And as a matter of fact, he didn't have a plan. He met a plug in the holdover in Detroit. He wasn't in prison yet. He was in county. And he met a plug. And so the Tammy bitch, the light-skinned hoe, that bitch was an informant from before. Way before Big Meech even know. Because the bitch was in a relationship with some drug dealer. And the nigga did something. Something happened. She got mad at the nigga, and just like a hoe, operating off of emotions and not logic, she snitched on the nigga. She became an informant, a government informant, to snitch on the nigga. And the police was confused because they was like, well, what is her incentive for snitching? Because she's not a criminal, so she's not facing any time. She don't need no money. So it's not like she's snitching to get paid. Like, what is her motivation? And her motivation in the first situation was retaliation. And so she snitched on the first motherfucker and got him locked up, and then she got involved with Meech. She was Meech's assistant. And because she was already a rat, it wasn't no issue for her to go back to that. So Big Meech say, hey, I need you to run this play. And I needed to go this way. And if you do it right, it'll shorten my stay. And she said, okay. And she started putting the motion in play. But just like a bitch, she can't keep her goddamn leg closed and started smashing the federal agent that was assigned to her, which made her credibility worth nothing. She was no longer a credible source. She was tainted now. Yeah, we can't trust you. We still don't trust you. And so because of that, they was threatening to expose the hoe as a snitch, and she got scared and all this other shit, and she ran to Meech to ask what she should do. And Meech said, bitch, I don't know you. Keep my name out this shit. So the hoe got mad. And boy, let me tell you something, boy. You make a hoe mad, And when I say hoe, I'm talking about women. I'm not talking about hoes like just hoes. I just refer to women as bitch and hoe. It's just it. I just talk like that. Don't take it as no disrespect. Boy, you piss a woman off, a woman to burn the whole motherfucking house down. Not thinking about where she gonna sleep at tonight. All she know is she mad right now. And she wanna do something to get back in your ass. So she gonna burn the whole damn house down. And then be sitting there looking stupid later when she ain't got nowhere to go. So anyway, in this situation, like I say, the hoe messed herself up because she couldn't stay loyal to Meech. Now I understand he in prison. I mean, you can't expect nobody to just keep their legs closed while you behind bars. I wouldn't have no expectation of anybody like that. But apparently, she wasn't supposed to be doing that, and she did it, and because of it, she messed up the whole case. So it's like, bitch, you did all this snitching to help Meech for nothing, bitch, because they ain't even gonna help the nigga, and the dude you snitched on still getting locked up. What? Let's listen to this shit.
One of the most unexpected beefs of 2025 has had everyone at the edge of their seats. Shocked would be the word best to describe seeing former drug trafficker / street legend Big Meech next to former...
We're gonna speed it up a little bit.
corrections officer / rapper Rick Ross. Ross would always give the facade that he was some drug lord from Miami, even going as far as naming himself after a drug lord from Los Angeles. Ross would mention Big Meech on his 2010 album Teflon Don, the very nickname of none other than John Gotti. Within the song BMF, Ross would rap, "I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover." Ross would be boldly comparing himself to Meech, who we all know ran BMF, the Black Mafia family. A drug trafficking money laundering organization founded in 1985 in Southwest Detroit, prosecutors allege BMF made over $270 million over the course of its operation. A Los Angeles drug source with direct ties to Mexican cartels would be the entryway in which BMF established direct routes to Atlanta, where they flooded the southern states with kilos of cocaine. But this wasn't the only person Rick Ross felt he was like. He'd also name another street legend, Larry Hoover.
We got 23 people in here. Can we get the likes up, please? And oh yeah, Rick Ross did mention Larry Hoover, and guess what? Them gangster disciples got on his motherfucking ass. Cause yo, police corrections officer used to be ass. Nigga, don't put Larry Hoover name in your mouth. Larry Hoover, real street nigga, ain't never ratted on nobody. He really got bodies like, nah, nigga, you ain't nothing like him. And the gangster disciples wasn't having it.
Hoover is being held responsible for founding the Gangster Disciples in Chicago way back in the late 60s. A gang that's very much still active today, having spread to the East Coast and throughout the southern states. Larry Hoover is currently imprisoned at ADX Florence, the federal supermax prison home to terrorists, gangsters, and other major drug lords such as El Chapo. Hoover is currently serving 6 life sentences, while Big Meech was just released from federal prison in October of 2024. Back in 2008, Meech was sentenced to 30 years, and in 2024, Meech would have his sentence reduced to 20 years. A judge would then grant a 32-month reduction off of the 20-year sentence. Serving over 16 years straight in federal prison, Big Meech would finally be released. What the fuck Rick Ross has in common with either of these men is unknown, as the only drugs he sold was in songs.
This motherfucker jiggling. Sit your head down somewhere. G-Unit, bitch!
And the only prison Ross was in was the South Florida Reception Center when he worked there. But even then, whether Meech wanted a link with Ross because of the 14-year-old song, or Ross had some money for Meech so Ross could continue role-playing like a drug lord, many believe Meech's loyalty was due elsewhere.
It was.
What's up, everybody? It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me, and for this video, we're gonna be speaking on Big Meech versus 50 Cent.
Damn, Jake, shave your face, man. What you been doing? You getting money. What you doing?
And the paperwork party. When it comes to war, few are as relentless and unforgiving as 50 Cent. And if you need a reminder, 50 just went viral again for dissing Irv Gotti after Irv was declared brain dead from a second stroke. 50 would fire the internet up with a post saying, "I'm smoking on that Gotti pack. Nah, God bless him, LOL." The beef between the two dates back to the 90s, and even Chicago rapper 600 Breezy would leave a comment saying, "Every day, he shows us why they hit him 9 times. Well, it's rumored that Irv Gotti was one of the men responsible for 50 being hit 9 times. 50 has had a notoriously long career of not giving a fuck, and in this case, things have seemingly become personal because 50 gave a fuck. For those that don't remember, Big Meech's son, Lil Meech, was known for years as nothing more than his father's son. But he'd break into stardom when 50 pushed him into the direction
He looked like a lame man, boy.
of a lead role for a show.
He looked like a good kid, don't he? He looked like he his mama's son.
Based on BMF, Lil Meech would be playing his own father, and 50 would be the executive producer behind the scenes. With no experience, Lil Meech would state in an interview 50 invested in him early on, going as far as paying for his acting classes so he could secure the role in the show as his father. Becoming a success, Lil Meech would find himself in a new light and out of his father's shadow as he thrived in his acting role. With Big Meech being released, the father-son duo would finally be reunited, and everyone expected
Hey, Jake, I ain't mad at you. Get your bread.
the future. What nobody expected was Big Meech and Rick Ross. A welcome back legacy concert would be posted on Meech's Instagram with a long list of major artists set to perform in Broward County, Florida. It wasn't the fact that Ross was performing, it was that they took pictures and videos together.
Flip-flop ass nigga.
Immediately, the internet knew 50 was gonna react, and he didn't disappoint. 50 would post a picture of a rat saying, "I think I'm Big Meech."
But I mean, he light-skinned. What y'all expect from him?
Now, many were initially confused as to who he was dissing, but it seems
Not saying all light-skinned niggas like that. They get offended.
more likely that 50 was dissing Rick Ross as he was quoting Ross's own song. But then again, the caption would read, "His biggest mistake he ever made was not sustaining his relationship with Tammy Cohen's. Her tell-all documentary reveals the truth." Tammy Cohen's was once a business partner and close friend of Big Meech.
Now that's the bitch right there. That's the snitch. Now she's a civilian, so you kind of can't consider her a rat. But she is a rat. She's a confidential informant. She was working for the government. And when 50 Cent say the biggest mistake that Big Meech made was not sustaining his relationship with her, is because when Big Meech paroled, she was under the impression that she was going to be with Big Meech and they was going to be together. But instead, Big Meech paroled to Lil Meech mama house in Florida.
Meech, but according to federal paperwork, became a federal informant. Ross would clap back at 50 with a post of his own, and of course he'd promote his car show, which is believed to be the reason he linked with Meech in the first place. See, Ross isn't dumb. Meech being in prison for the last 17 years is a decent excuse, while Ross knew exactly what he was doing. Ross wanted to link with Meech, knowing the controversy would start up, so he could then promote his upcoming car show. But the effect in doing so would leave Meech in a worse position than what he came home to. 50 would start dropping bombs, even posting texts from Lil Meech that read, "They just told me you unfollowed me
Now this the bullshit right here. I'ma let him read through this.
off Instagram, and now you're managing Skilla Baby with Rocket when I brought him around you first when you didn't have a clue who he was. Now you're mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty. I'm human. I go through my own shit, but I never switched up on you. Fuck Ross. But he gave my dad some bread so he could afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet shit is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life."
And you know 50 in real life, and you know 50 don't play that disloyal shit, and you know that 50 and Rick Ross don't get along, little nigga. You grew up in Miami, don't act like you ain't know, and your daddy knew, and you broke cause you spent all your money on them stupid ass outfits and that jewelry and shit, so you ain't got no money trying to keep up with the rappers trying to live a lifestyle you can't afford, and so now your daddy come home and he broke, so now both y'all got to go over there and suck off Rick Ross cause ain't no money, and so then in doing that, because he desperate, like 50 Cent say way before this happened, if your biggest asset is your appearance, you gonna do some hoe shit. 50 Cent said that before all this went down. And Big Meech is not Big Meech, but hell, Big Meech too. Both their biggest asset is their appearance. They got the shine, they got the floss, they got the hair, the flies clothes on. How you good looking light skinned ass niggas don't feel secure unless you had that bullshit on? I'm dark skinned, I was born with bags under my eyes and all kind of shit. You can't tell me I ain't the flyest nigga on 2 feet. I go get some clothes out of Walmart right now. I ain't got a name brand, nothing in my closet. Nothing. I ain't got a name brand. The most expensive fucking shoes I own. God damn it. It's my work shoes. These are the most expensive shoes I own. Some Hokers. What you mean? Can't tell me I ain't the flyest nigga on 2 feet. Pull any bitch I want whenever I get ready. What you mean? Original gigolo hoe. Now listen. This shit right here, this that fake shit right here. So when you send something like this to 50, right? 50 looking at this and he's going, but this is your dad. Like, I understand what happened. I understand what it might have been a mistake, misunderstanding, but no matter what, you're supposed to stand by your daddy. Now, I understand your daddy wasn't in your life. He wasn't there, but he was a part of your life to my understanding. You had contact with him. You was able to talk to him and all this good stuff. Like, he wasn't just absentee to my understanding. So you supposed to stand with your daddy, bro. No matter what happened, wrong, right, or indifferent, you supposed to stand with your daddy. You not supposed to go begging no another nigga to take you back in his good graces over your daddy. And I ain't even had no daddy. And I know better than that. You understand what I'm saying? If I had a daddy, I wouldn't go against my daddy for no nigga. What do you mean? So you do this.
50 would reply with, what next season?
As a matter of fact, Boosie said that too. Boosie said the same thing.
Would make it clear that Big Meech's choice wouldn't affect just him, but also his son and the existence of the BMF show. After all, how could 50 continue a show based on a rat? While the Black Mafia family was pushing kilos of cocaine, BMF Entertainment was a music business used as a front to launder money. The label would promote several hip-hop artists, but Blue Da Vinci would be the only artist actually signed to BMF. Roughly 150 BMF members would be indicted, but Blue would be free for more than
and he's a rat too. Divinely Guided, what's happening with you?
a year before finding himself taken down by the feds. The BMF rapper was accused of doing nothing more than loading and unloading cocaine from vehicles and counting money from stash houses in Atlanta. Blue would eventually be sentenced to 5 years and 4 months in federal prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. In recent years, BMF members would accuse Blue Da Vinci of having snitched in the case. One of those men will be none other than Dexter Sosa Hussey. Having served 12 years for trafficking and money laundering, Sosa was the head of logistics for BMF as he took on the responsibility of managing loads of 150 kilos at a time and transporting them across the country. Sourced directly from the car.
Now y'all see this picture, right? Y'all see that picture of the man in the shades? I'm not finna play it. I just want to show y'all in case y'all want to go check it out in your own time. That's from a DJ Vlad interview. DJ Vlad, just type in Dexter. Right there. Come up right there. Dexter Sosa Hussey. He was a part of BMF. His interview on the rise and the fall of BMF. If you want to check him out.
Oh, niggas gonna be like, ooh.
Wait, wrong video. Hold on. Here we go.
Cartel, Sosa would study maps, routes, and familiarize himself with the areas in which he trafficked. He'd even go as far as learning which times of day police were most active, giving him a window to take advantage of through different time zones across the country. A calculated operator, Sosa would take the Vlad TV speaking on Blue Da Vinci.
Well, did Blue Da Vinci cooperate or no?
Yeah, he cooperated. I mean, I didn't see it. It was in Miss Mara Shalhoub's book, where his own lawyer said, yeah, if there was anything else that we could do, Your Honor, to help you along with this case, my client would be more than willing to cooperate with you all to help you.
People like him go tell Vlad everything because they don't have a platform to tell their story on.
This investigation.
And Vlad probably pay him too.
But now the thing of it is by you admitting what was done, you know what I'm saying, you what you done or whatever, but bottom line is, you know, you didn't take the single plea. You went in and was giving them information on shit that they already had and thought it was cool, but you still, you know, that was part of that. You just confirmed other shit that the other CIs just done told. Plus you did a smack video prior to that was giving them the whole fucking play. They never knew nothing about it. That smack video was detrimental in finding out who each person was.
What Sosa was referring to would be written out in Blue Da Vinci's sentencing transcripts. Blue was being called up in court, and as he made his way to the podium, his lawyer stated to the...
Now y'all heard him say he did a smack video, right? This it right here. You can type in Big Meech Smack DVD, you'll find a couple different versions. This one, the title is Black Mafia Family in Miami. This is what he talking about with Blue Da Vinci was on there talking
Who's
too
that?
damn much.
That's Blue with the GT Cool.
You see that Blue Da Vinci right there, right? You see him right there, the nigga right there, right?
I got the new chain coming out, look just like this. Oil change, nigga.
He just walking around giving a tour.
Cleaned up.
Hit this like bam, and the bitches at the top just start doing the transformer tail nickel.
Look the shit that's at the house. They know what this is. This that shit that got the nigga just get out and be like, hey, go like this.
Wow, 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 wow.
That's the shit he talking about right there.
The judge, as he's coming up, Your Honor, I did leave one thing out. You had asked some of the other defendants whether or not they cooperated. Mr. McKnight, aka Blue Da Vinci, was one of the individuals who did attempt to cooperate. He was debriefed by the government, but basically he didn't know anything that was useful against the remaining defendants. So Blue Da Vinci's lawyer would essentially be the one who exposed Blue did attempt to cooperate and was debriefed by the feds. Blue would then tearfully give a statement in court before being sentenced to 5 years and 4 months. But did he actually snitch? It's clear as day that he attempted to, but none of the information he provided was of any use or could be used against anyone. Sosa would accuse Blue of confirming things other informants
Just because they couldn't use the information that you gave them don't mean you didn't rat, my boy.
had already stated, so while he technically wasn't making things worse, he definitely wasn't making them better, and he only did so to secure a lesser sentence. At one point, Big Meech would accuse Blue of snitching, but according to Blue, Meech would apologize after. And in the end, Blue would get the final laugh as his name remains stained, but it would be Blue that dropped the paperwork on Big Meech. Blue would do an interview with Cam Capone back in 2023 providing the paperwork exposing Tammy Comins. Tammy was Big Meech's assistant. With Meech already taken down by the feds, Tammy would seemingly prove her loyalty by remaining in contact with Meech through calls and letters. With years in prison ahead of him, Meech would make a risky business move by signing over his life rights to Tammy. This now meant Tammy owned the life story of Big Meech and could turn it into millions. But this wasn't the only business move Meech made. While in jail, Meech met a cartel member by the
Here come the ratting.
name of Fidel Suarez. Suarez owned and operated a trucking company in California and had been investigated/arrested without conviction for drug trafficking in 2005 and 2009. Meech would use Tammy to connect Suarez with a lifelong friend named Dion Gatling, who's more commonly known as the St. Louis drug lord Cuffy. Tammy would bridge the gap for further drug distribution, but what Cuffy and Suarez didn't know was she was a confidential informant and was reporting everything to the feds. CS1, or confidential source number 1, has been identified as Tammy Comins. Paperwork would state she first became a confidential informant for the Atlanta DEA back in 2009, where she provided information in a money laundering case that resulted in the successful prosecution and conviction of another Atlanta kingpin legend named Terry White.
It's believed that Terry White
Wait, before we go any further, do y'all recall they just say he was a St. Louis kingpin, right? The Cuffy dude.
Atlanta, Cali, you know what I'm saying? Cali, Milwaukee, St. Louis, Detroit, Texas, and then everybody from different places. Milwaukee, St. Louis, Detroit, and then everybody from different places. Milwaukee, St. Louis, and then everybody from different places. Milwaukee, St. Louis.
He's
grew up in an Atlanta housing project. But when FBI and GBI agents arrested him last night, he was living here, a sprawling $200,000 mansion in Jonesboro. The 27-year-old was in the process of renovating his home, which features an outdoor swimming pool, a full-length
This the first nigga that Tammy Cohen snitched on.
basketball court, and more.
Had a media room where there were 24 TV sets on one wall hooked to a satellite dish. And you could hit a button and all 24 TVs would come on.
Agents seized the home and 3 cars which belonged to White, including this $110,000 Rolls Royce, which was paid for in cash. But there was more to be found inside. $47,000 cash and a machine to count the money. Thousands in gold jewelry and mink coats. A small catch of ammunition and weapons, including a loaded Uzi semi-automatic pistol.
The feds would note Tammy Comins was an unusual informant, as she had no criminal record, was not a known drug user, did not appear motivated by money, and was not looking to get a reduced prison sentence or charges dismissed. Instead, she appeared motivated by revenge, as Terry White had her unknowingly laundering money for him. Tammy Comins was not initially a paid informant, but an agent would put her in for an award that would be a percentage of the property seized in the case. Tammy would receive.
Now you heard to say that the bitch snitched for revenge now.
Had her unknowingly laundering money for him. charges dismissed. Instead, she appeared motivated by revenge, as Terry White had her unknowingly laundering money for him.
Now, I don't believe that that's the whole truth of the story. I believe it's something deeper than that. But the whole point is, boy, you piss a hoe off, boy, she'll burn the whole house down without even no regards of where she gonna sleep at. I'm telling you.
Tammy Cohen's was not initially a paid informant, but an agent would put her in for an award that would be a percentage of the property seized in the case. Tammy would receive a total of $55,000 for putting away.
Shit, $55,000? I need to start ratting. Damn it.
When Tammy Cohen's became a confidential informant, she'd already been a longtime friend and associate of Big Meech. Specifically,
I tell on one of these niggas right now $55,000.
She held the life rights of Big Meech, and in 2011, Meech requested her help in coordinating a delivery of cocaine through Suarez. Meech told Tammy he met Suarez while inside of a county jail in Michigan, and as time went on, Meech would ask her to connect Suarez with Cuffy. So she'd reported to the feds that Meech had her coordinate a cocaine delivery in 2011 while Meech was in prison, but for some reason Meech would never face an indictment for her allegations. At a later evidentiary hearing, Tammy would deny that Meech had any involvement with drug trafficking activities between Suarez and Cuffy. She'd also deny Meech directed her to connect them. And now, the feds were starting to believe Tammy Cohen's was no longer a credible informant. That, and the fact that it was discovered she was sleeping with the federal agent assigned to her.
What I told you, the bitch couldn't keep her goddamn legs closed.
Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way.
All she had to do was keep her legs closed and Big Meech would have been home a whole lot sooner.
So what would make her start covering up for Meech? Wiretaps would reveal Cuffy's alleged involvement in the murders of two.
She started covering up for Meech because the bitch got found out and Meech probably got mad, and so to make up, she probably tried to... Jesus Christ, these bitches ain't shit, bro. These bitches ain't shit. Now, this ain't no woman bashing channel. These niggas ain't no better now. I can't stand niggas now. If I had to take my pick, I'd rather hang around all women instead of niggas, but these bitches ain't shit, bro.
Two individuals cooperating with law enforcement.
They good long as you don't piss them off.
And along with Tammy providing information on him drug trafficking, Cuffy would be indicted in 2014.
And if they can keep their goddamn legs closed, bitch, goddamn.
Cuffy's legal team would file motions that would leave Tammy Cohen's panicking. At this time, nobody knew she was an informant, and Tammy saw information within Cuffy's motion that she believed would allow people close to the case to identify her. The DEA agent controlling her would...
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, chat. I'll be right back.
Testify in court that she expressed concern over the motions and that she panicked and took several measures to try to protect herself. Apparently, Tammy drove several hours to Louisiana in an attempt to visit Big Meech in federal prison to explain her position and try to deflect any accusations. So essentially, she was seeking Meech's advice on how to handle being exposed as a confidential informant. It's believed she wasn't able to visit him, but when she did speak with him, Big Meech told Tammy he didn't want his name caught up in this mess. Nothing is said about Meech being shocked, surprised, or angry and finding out his assistant who he trusted with his life rights was now working with the feds. He just didn't want his name being brought up, showing that he knew. To further protect herself and Meech, Tammy would state the wiretaps contained false information. She was now saying that Meech never connected Suarez to Cuffy and that the DEA agent Tammy was having sex with was jealous of her relationship with Meech and was trying to frame him. The feds would quickly realize Tammy was no longer credible, and due to the fear of being exposed, she was now attempting to distance Big Meech from Suarez and Cuffy. In 2019, at the age of 53, Cuffy would be sentenced to 27 years in prison for drug trafficking and use of firearms in furtherance of drug trafficking, resulting in death. Fast forward to 2024, Cam Capone would have Blue Da Vinci back on, but this time, Blue had none other than Cuffy on the line so he could speak out for himself from prison.
But I'm in here with a 27-year sentence based on Demetrius Flannery, as you all know is Big Meech, and Tammy Collins, known in the paperwork as CS1. So what Big Meech did was call a third-party cooperation. So Tammy Collins signed up to be a DEA informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut, plain and simple.
Cuffy would start off strong saying he's doing 27 years because of Meech, and claim Meech did what's called a third-party cooperation.
He did.
Cuffy would claim Tammy Cohen's, who was already a DEA informant, cooperated against him for Big Meech's benefit.
She did.
Backed by the paperwork that stated back in 2011, Tammy was tasked with targeting Hispanics involved in drug trafficking. She'd be spared from having to testify as they'd be sent back to Mexico. When asked if she gets something big, the DEA agent would interrupt her saying, "You'll get a lot of money." But instead, she asked to get Big Meech a time cut, to which the DEA agent said we.
I'm gonna tell you what happened now. Big Meech was with the hoe or whatever, and they were doing whatever. And so he tried to get the hoe. Probably had to sign over the life rights in the process, maybe some business, I don't know, the order or whatever happened. And so he put the hoe on a play to try to, bust a move to get him out early. The hoe couldn't keep her legs closed, and because of that, she was about to get exposed. And so she went back to Meech to ask what to do, and Meech was probably pissed off. And you bitch, get the fuck out of my face. Just don't put my name in none of this shit, bitch. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. And so the hoe panicking, and they probably made up, and then you get with 50 and make the show, and everything is good. And he talking that jail talk to her that them niggas be talking. Baby, it's only you. When I come home, it's gonna be me and you. You know that dumb shit them niggas be talking when they in there. And then when it was time for him to come home, he didn't come home to that hoe. He went home to his baby mama, Lil Meech mama, and that pissed off. And then he did the shit with Rick Ross, and it's just a whole goddamn mixture, whirlwind, tornado of disaster for his ass.
Work on that. Cuffy discovered this through a Frank's hearing in which his legal team was able to cross-examine his accusers, including government agents and informants. Tammy would be present to testify, and these transcripts are of what she said. Fidel Suarez was Hispanic, clearly pushing drugs through his trucking operation. Cuffy wanted drugs, Meech connected them through Tammy, and Tammy sat back and watched it all unfold. But Meech would never receive the time cut because it was discovered Tammy was having sex with the DEA agent responsible for her. So in the end,
fucked up the whole play.
Ain't no way, ain't no fucking way, ain't no way, ain't no fucking way.
Bitch, all you had to do was what I told you to do, ho. But you got up in there and you saw that good looking nigga, bitch. You took your eyes off the prize, bitch. You lost focus and you just had to go with your emotions and what you felt. And you fucked up the whole case, bitch. I could have been out of prison, bitch, getting money.
And Tammy's cooperation did not benefit Meech, but because of it, Cuffy's phone was wiretapped and he was taken down as a result of them finding evidence and sentenced to 27 years. Now this is where you as a viewer have to decide as to what you believe. Tammy received the life rights to Big Meech after he was taken down by the feds. Tammy then became a DEA informant, which even the feds questioned as she didn't want or need money, wasn't a drug addict, and wasn't facing criminal charges. So what was her motive? Tammy was told she'd be targeting Hispanics and asked in return for her cooperation that Big Meech would receive a lesser sentence. She was cooperating, being paid to do so, but also doing so for Meech to benefit. When accidentally exposed as an informant through court filings mentioning her name,
We got 31 people in here. Can we get the likes up, please? Thank you.
Panicked, running to Meech, who was in prison. Meech told her he wanted his name to stay out of it, and at that time, she recanted all statements regarding Meech, saying he had nothing to do with bringing Suarez and Cuffy together. Tammy was then exposed.
I left that part out. That's why she went back and did that, because when she went and told Meech what was up, and he was mad at the hoe, so she went back to try to fix shit. That's what happened, to get his name out of it, and that probably fixed the situation, and then fast forward to today.
Having sex with a DEA agent, ruining any chances of helping Meech, and Cuffy goes down because of the wiretap brought on by Tammy. So why wouldn't Cuffy believe Meech was behind it? Tammy didn't make a move Meech didn't tell her to make. She was his assistant, and trusted enough that he signed over his life rights. She only began cooperating after Meech was taken down, and continued to visit him for years in prison. They remained in contact long after she informed him she was exposed as an informant, and she even went on to become a co-producer for BMF, the TV series, along with executive producer 50 Cent. The show would premiere in 2021, 2 years after Cuffy was sentenced. 50, being a chess master, was now trolling Big Meech with the promise of a Tammy Cohen's documentary coming soon. Turns out, 50 would buy Big Meech's life rights from Tammy. So now 50 is in control with the power to essentially end the BMF series and expose Big Meech through the help of his former associate, Tammy Combs. Big Meech's welcome back concert would be canceled just before it started. Lil Meech would already be doing Instagram promos as his acting career just ended, and strings were seemingly being pulled as all of the aura that Big Meech once had was being swept away by 50 Cent. And let's be clear, only someone as influential as 50 Cent had the power to pull this off, as many had spoke on Big Meech's paperwork in the past, but it took a megastar to solidify it and spread it to the masses. 50 would continue to troll Meech, posting a GoFundMe stating Meech needs help paying his bills, and Lil Meech would post a picture to Instagram with Floyd Mayweather and Rick Ross saying real power.
That's pretty much the gist of it. I ain't gonna play the whole thing. But y'all tell me if y'all think Meech snitched or not. That's just what it boiled down to. He didn't directly snitch. He didn't directly tell on nobody, but he had somebody working for him. Period. He had somebody working on it for him. That's ratting. I don't care what you say. And he on here talking this foolishness. And this is who all the hustlers and all the street guys was looking up to for so many years, only to find out that he ratted just like the rest of them.
No, everybody is. And everything
until shit get thick.
Start with the leader. I'm a good leader, so I got good people that follow. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. If you can only be like the nigga that's running your crew. If you got a robbing ass boss, then you're gonna be a robbing ass crew. If you got a real boss who know how to sacrifice and take the bad along with the good and show his crew know how to be men, then this what you get.
He not lying, cause he a snitching and nigga, and he had a crew full of snitching and nigga. Blue Da Vinci snitch, and there was more confidential informants on the case. They just not popular. They face ain't out in the open. But yeah, it was a lot of people. It was 150 people got arrested in that BMF thing. You think only 2 people snitched out of 150? Please.
Everybody shining like new money. And ain't no other crew like this in the world, and there never will be another one. Not black. It never will be, because they said that if niggas like this is shining all together, being together, doing shit every day, then they gonna fall out over some money or somebody gonna rob, steal, and kill. I have yet to see that. All of us get along with money. We had money, we been had money. Money ain't nothing without us being together. It don't do no dip, it don't make no...
Shut your ass up. Shut up. I don't want to hear this fallacy ass shit no more. The streets is dead. Listen, the streets is dead. If you're in the streets, you're selling your little hustle or whatever, get your money, stack your money up, and eventually stop. You can't do it forever. You're going to get you're going to jail. You're going to jail. The streets is dead. Everybody telling this supposed to be the biggest one that everybody look up to. I think I'm Big Meech. Yeah, this the one. And he ratted. He told. Okay? They have the paperwork. He told. He told the girl, introduce this dude to this dude so the feds can get on him. And the only reason why it didn't work is because the bitch couldn't keep her goddamn legs closed. It's the only reason why it didn't work. And then the hoe came back, lying to the queen and lying to the king. Gail. And Meech said, bitch, get out of my face. And so she tried to go fix it. And then everything was cool. And then Meech got out of jail and went to his baby mama house. And she said, oh, okay, I'm going to show you, nigga. So yeah, that's the Big Meech thing. He ratted. End of story. End of story. He ratted. Let me see. Where did I see this? I might have bookmarked it. Hold on.